So just to preface one thing before we get into this next topic, I did a conversation with Wendell not too long ago on the podcast where we were talking about the Transformer T-shirt designs and how the art that's used on those T-shirts are going to be used as a lot of stock photos and stock images and stuff, and control art
Hmm.
for all of the promotional and material stuff. So I actually bought my first piece of movie hot rod merchandise.
The rabbit hole
Yes,
begins.
I finally bought my first piece of it. Now, it wasn't a figure. The figures aren't out yet. But the posters of the movie stuff started showing up in Walmart now. And so I picked up a poster of Hot Rod, and lo and behold, like I said in the podcast, the art that was used on the poster was the control art used on the t-shirts and stuff. So Trend, I think it's called Trends is the company. Let me just take a look. I think it's Trends that does them. Yeah, it's Trends. Trends is doing the last night movie posters. You could find them on end caps of Walmart and usually sometimes in the magazine section. So you could pick up Hot Rod, Bumblebee, and a few other characters. They're individual posters too, which is cool. So it's just Hot Rod and it says Hot Rod on it. So if you're a fan of the character, like I am, so just a little bit, you know, go ahead and pick them up. And it's kind of cool because, you know, the Hot Rod toy that we're going to be talking about now is a Walmart exclusive. So I think maybe that's why Walmart got a poster just of him because he's going to be
Mm.
an exclusive at some point. Um, but that being said, uh, we're going to be talking about recently. Last week we talked about the Hot Rod Deluxe toy and our thoughts about it and everything and the little changes here and there. And now we're wondering maybe we have to put our foot in our mouth because we were saying like, oh, it's just it's just a minor retool of the Age of Extinction Deluxe Lockdown toy that kind of sucks. Um,
And it turns out it's a big retool.
yeah. So again, forum member managed to get a stolen copy of the toy uh, and took an extensive photo shoot. Luckily, this character excuse me, not this character, this individual who got this toy, he also owns the original Age of Extinction Lockdown toy, so he was able to take an extensive photo shoot, but also give us a side by side comparison to the original Age of Extinction toy that we were comparing it to originally. And man, I am happy. I am very happy to see, I could say this right now, Hot Rod is a extensive retool of Lockdown to the point of, in all honesty, um, it's almost not. It's like night and day. It's
Like the only thing I'm looking at the shots again now, and the only thing I could really say is most likely the same are everything from the kneecaps down.
yeah,
It's just the kneecaps down, the legs and the feet. Like the shins and the feet are the same, are probably definitely the same item, and then everything else from the knees up is like completely different toy.
well, I've also one thing that I give it a lot of credit for is a lot of times when we've had and I use this term extensive retools of repaints and stuff like that. Um, Usually the robot modes have a very stark difference, and we go, "Oh wow, that's a really good repaint." But when you look at the alt modes, you really see how it really is just kind of the same toy.
Right.
Especially when you look at where the toys, I guess we could use the term, it breaks from the shell to become the
Yeah.
robot mode. There's this great photo that's a side by side comparison of the two Lamborghinis next to each other. And you look at Hot Rod's Lamborghini mode and where the brakes are for what becomes the robot mode, and you look at the lockdown one, and there's the brakes are in all these different areas.
Yep.
So it makes me go, you know what? I almost feel like maybe these toys aren't even cut from the same cloth anymore. I think that it just so happens to be that they both turn into the same alt mode and have the same transformation, but are literally two different kinds. It's kind of like how you could look at G1 Jazz and G1 Prowl. They both transform the same way. They both have the chest becomes the front of the car. They have the wings for the
For their
doors.
back. Yep.
Yeah, but at the same time, when it's all said and done, a few twists and turns are a little different between the two of them, and they become two different kinds of real alt modes because of just the physical And again, I don't want to say retools when it comes to Jazz and Prowl. They are not retools of each other, but it's just it's night and day in this case because despite the fact that we call Hot Rod here a retool of Lockdown, he's like a head and a half taller than him.
Yeah.
On top of that, which is amazing because Lockdown was unfortunately one of those short deluxes from the Age of Extinction line, which a lot of deluxes were suffering from during that era of oil prices and all that stuff. But Hot Rod's towering over him, and that makes me very happy. And he looks great. He looks absolutely great. Like it looks amazing, this toy. The fact that, and again, when I say amazing, it's just by how much has been changed. And this guy, I want to give a shout out to him that took the photo shoot here, Type R. Man, he took a lot of great photos to really just illustrate how many different things there are. The one thing that's kind of sad is it does confirm one of my fears that Hot Rod doesn't come with any weapons at all. So, I mean, because the photo shoot shows him holding weapons, but those came from Megatron, Shockwave. I'm trying to see. I think this gun here in one of the photos came from Hound. So, it's just, it looks great though. This toy looks amazing. It's just it's part of me just going like, man, that's going to be a tough pill to swallow at that price point because it's still it's still those premium deluxes, which are like almost like they're more than $30.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know. That's why where it's like, oh, don't do this to me, bro. You know, I just bought your poster for $7. Yeah, it's like even the poster is probably about as cheap as it's gonna get. So. But it looks amazing. We have a nice shot of the back of the box. Nothing has changed from the blurb that we read recently, where he just likes to fight in the battle, blah blah blah. But
Yep.
looks amazing. I am so hyped about this. I always imagined in my mind, when the time would finally come when I'd be picking up a movie Hot Rod toy. Not counting, because every time I say a movie Hot Rod toy, I'm always reminded there was this one movie Hot Rod toy that came out in Dark of the Moon that was just a pack-in, and it wasn't really a movie Hot Rod toy.
It was a Legends, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird hiccup footnote, but I mean this is the first legit version of it, and it looks great, and I'm really excited about it. And again, thanks to Type R for taking these photos that really show it's not just straight up repaint or a minor retool. It's a whole overhaul.
Mm.
What do you think?
I think he's pretty cool. Again, like I said, I am shocked that because I remember I was like, oh, it's probably the legs downward, and now looking at it again, I'm like, no, it's literally the shins down are the same, and everything else is just different. The way the wheels aren't on the hips like in Lockdown.
Yeah, well
The wheels are like further up on the body.
and
Both
see,
of
and
them.
again, for that one piece to be moved, you know what I mean? That changes the whole setup.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That's
and
crazy.
he looks really good. Like better than I thought, and the fact that he does look taller than Lockdown helps a bunch.
Helps a great
Because
deal.
and when you watch the movie, you think like, oh, Lockdown's this big imposing character. Then you get the toy, and he's just stout.
Oh God,
He's very
it's
stout
it's
looking.
honestly, I'm looking at my display of Age of Extinction toys,
He's
and
like
I'm like,
all legs and like stumpy torso.
he's like
and
the
it's
shortest of
aw.
all the deluxes, and he was supposed to be the big bad of the movie. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
like it's just oh God.
He looks really, really cool though. The only thing I probably would ding him for is the hands, but I guess that's the only way you can get it going to like fit that shell into that body into that shell. I guess
Yeah, they probably had the limitations of
Yeah.
of like the car. I guess in this case, it probably looks like it's going to be the side of the car door.
Yeah.
Um, And not to mention, because he doesn't come with weapons, I'm pretty sure they weren't too concerned about the hands because it's not like he's
Yeah.
gonna be. I mean, he probably has the standard 3.3 millimeter peg that's
Hmm.
common with most Transformer toys today, so everything could hold weapons
Yeah.
together.
Exactly.
But at the same time, they probably weren't worrying too much about it. I kind of hope because he doesn't have weapons that at least he has some kind of active action role in the movie. Because
Hmm.
so far from what I've seen, and I tried to avoid all spoilers all hand, but so far from all I've seen, I've just seen the one scene where he drops off that chick to Anthony Hopkins,
Uh,
you know, and and that's it. Just that one quick scene, and he's just getting like swung at. So it's not it's not a best representation of the character. And it's so sad because I'm so worried. Like in retrospect, we're gonna be like listening back to this and going like, man, that was his only scene in the movie. Watch, and then I'll be like, God damn, yeah.
But what am I gonna do with all this merchandise now?
That's what we had this discussion. It's like Sideswipe. He had like
Yeah,
he had his
exactly.
like 1.5 scenes in Revenge of the Fallen, and he had a billion toys. So I'm really, and I'm going to emphasize this again. I'm really hoping there's more to him than we
Mm.
think. I'm really hoping.
Oh man, I hope Jolt's in this one.
Oh God. Even Jolt had literally he had 5 seconds of screen time, and he had God. I'm trying to count. I think he had like 7 toys. Like including like RPMs and stuff. Like it's just that's the and I mean recently, we might as well touch up on this too. They recently
Hmm.
announced Jada, which is a very famous die-cast car company that does
Okay.
die-cast toy cars. I'm quite familiar with Jada because Jada was in charge of handling all of Initial D's merchandise when Initial D
Mm.
was doing die-cast cars in America. They have the rights to do the Transformer die-cast cars, and they're going to be doing the Hot Rod one,
Right.
and they're doing a 1 by 24 scale Lamborghini Hot Rod, and it's literally a blown up version of the RPM line where it's you got the perfect die cast car, and then you flip it over on the underside where the drivetrain is and everything, and you see the robot mode, like just
Right.
like imposed on the bottom of the drivetrain and everything in the bottom. And it's cool, and it comes with a collector coin. So that's another cool thing too. I just want to touch on that. So there's gonna be a lot. I'm gonna be busy with hot rod merch. I almost feel like if I just bought only hot rod related stuff for this movie, that'll be already enough money spent in itself. Like that's just how crazy it is. So,
We
but
need to get this guy's money. How are we gonna do it?
yeah,
Oh well, we have Lamborghini's license. All right, put a hot rod on it. All
you know
right,
what? It's because they found out
call
how
it a
little I
day.
bought of Age of Extinction. I bought the Stomp and Chomp Grimlock, which is the big Grimlock toy. Like it ranks up there as one of the largest Transformer toys ever made. That thing was $79.99. I bought it for $2 at a garage sale complete.
Oh my god.
Well, that's just it because there was so many of these toys that I just was like, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it at this price point. I'm gonna wait. Like it's ridiculous, and I've been going through the motions with that. And the most expensive toy to come out of Age of Extinction, I managed to get for $2. So, but with Hot Rod, I do want to get everything mint in package. I want to get this character and all of his iterations. The rest of the stuff, I'll play it by ear. That Primus is really calling out to me, but at the same time though, it's like that's going to be another because of these price points. That's a big pill to swallow.
But
So
Proto Man is G2
it,
Primus.
it's Armada
Me,
Cheetor
me.
Primus.
I want it. Me.
It's Armada Cheetor Primus. That's what it
It's
is.
got a new hat.
It's got the new hat. No, it doesn't even have a new hat.
It's got a new
It doesn't
hat.
even
You
have a new
gotta
hat.
buy it.
Hot Rod's the one with a new hat, technically. Anyways, anything else you want to touch on this one?
No, I think we nailed it on this one.
All right.
Like I think I actually saw this car not too long ago because we had our big race and everything, and somebody was driving it around, and I was like, "Ooh, that front end,
Yeah,
that
the
front end, the
Montreal
diffuser,
Formula
the
One was in
splitter."
town.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
the big event for North America for Formula One here in
Well,
Canada.
it's the first, and then the second one is in Austin, Texas now.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Yeah,
So
so I could kind of see them being like, we won't come to Montreal, we won't come here anymore. But I hope not. I hope that's not the
I don't
case.
I don't think they'll be leaving Montreal. We're too hip.
Mm.
Not doing Salt Austin, Texas, but we're too
They're
hip.
very hip too,
We're too
apparently.
hip. Um,
But yeah, like I'm this partnership again. Seeing what Hasbro and Takara is doing with Volkswagen Group is just giving me hope.
oh yeah,
Just giving me
I,
hope. Give me
there's
hope
hope.
for that. Just gotta wait it out. Gotta wait.
That
Daniel waited it out. I gotta wait it
yeah,
out
that
too.
Porsche Turbo's coming, baby.
It's coming.